Hello. It's been a while, but I'm back. I'm gonna do a year-end recap. 2025 got pretty crazy toward the end there. Silver shot up to $84. I did some last-minute moves that maybe, hopefully don't hurt me in the long run, but right now I'm pretty happy with the moves I made. Kind of spontaneous last minute, but that's how I operate. So I'll start with the gold. I don't know if that's a poucho. I don't think that would count. It's just a sunglass bag that I happen to have laying around. And inside is that. So well, I didn't want to do it that way. Alright, so we got the 6 Buffalo, about. I got the 1904 $20. I got the St. Gaudens 1924. And I got my $10 Liberties. And my $2.50 1873 closed 3 variety, about 55,000 I think were minted for that one. But then I swapped out some of my silver and I got another $20 Liberty 1899. So I'm very happy with that. So I got 2 gold Liberties. And I also picked up a $5 1909 D Eagle. Well, it's the Indian, but it has an eagle on the back, but this has the design stamped into the gold. So it's actually concaved into the surface. Maybe I could try to zoom. Oh. But this, I believe, it said extra fine 45 when I picked it up. So, I mean, these, I guess, would be pretty hard to grade. But it's a pretty nice example. So that's a $5 that I added. And then I also got a 1982 Krugerrand quarter ounce. I always wanted one of these. I keep doing that. So I had an opportunity. The guy had this in his coin shop. It's actually a new shop I found. So I actually have 4 within a half hour from my house. But he's new. He just opened up recently. I just happened to stop in. I was in the area, and we ended up talking for about an hour. He's a good guy. He had a lot of selection, and he worked with me. Whatever options were open, we went that route as far as swapping and, cash and all that stuff. So everything was squared away. That's the update. So it was 10, and now I got the additional $20 Liberty and these 2 quarters. So that's another 1.5 ounces added. So get these out of the way. And I also have these, which you've seen. These are the 2016 commemoratives. So, but again, that's not part of the stack. That's not going anywhere. And I also got Goldbacks. I found these random out in the wild, and I jumped on them just to get my first Goldbacks. These kind of slowed down in discussion. I know they were hot for a while, but that's about it for the gold update. Now getting into silver. I still have all my slabs. You can see over here. I don't really show them much. Just, you know, they're American Silver Eagles, just different dates and stuff. I got my Intaglio Mint repunch. They took a pre-64 Kennedy, and then they restamped them. It's an overstrike with the, you know, old classic American designs. So I got the Walking Liberty and the Standing Liberty. But you can see those in older videos. That's FG Stacker. He did that custom pour for me for the channel. This is that giveaway I won with Stacker Social and Stacking with Craven. It's a very, very nice bar. I think it was the Vortex bar it's called. These are very nice. Silver. So I had 200 ounces, but like I said earlier, with prices going up so crazy, I actually swapped some. So now I only have 60 BU ASEs. That's all in here. And I then grabbed, this was part of the swaps and stuff I did. I grabbed some 10-ounce bars with the leftover cash that I had, which I know that sounds kind of stupid to move up in price, but I just want to get my silver weight back. This is an old poured bar. And this one I find interesting. It's a GA, Golden Analytics, I think is the company. But the serial number is very low. I mean, I don't know, was that 6F? So I'm not sure if there's any information on that. I tried looking them up, but, you know, I'm not sure what to look for exactly. So if anybody, I know there was another channel, they just did a couple GA bars. I'll have to look back on that. I forgot offhand the name. But this one is something I got. So that's 40 ounces, 60, so that's 100. So I still have that. And then, you know, like I said, all the slabs and stuff, which technically don't count. And then I also got if I can get it open. This is an 1884 Morgan. I don't remember. I think I just picked that one up randomly. But these, I got 10. Try to do this in one shot. Nope. You're really gonna screw me up here. All right, so I got 10 BU Well, some look really nice. A little scratched up, but I got 10 Morgan dollars. And I also got 10 peace dollars. So, you know, that there would be more silver added. So that's technically 20. Well, no, that would be less than 20. You know, whatever, $1.50 is 1 ounce. So you do the math. But that's it for the silver update. I still have all my other silver from the silver video with the coins I did. This is a silver certificate star note. I picked that up. You know, I just thought that was nice. I have other older silver certificates, but the star note, I had to have that, so I thought that was pretty nice. Then as numismatics goes, my newer items this year, I got this 1909 double, basically a transition year from 1909 Indian head cent to 1909 Lincoln, which is a VDB, but it's not going to want to focus. Yeah, there you go. So I just wanted that for the first year of the Lincoln. And I got a 1941 S Walking Liberty, Mint State 63. These have weak strikes, so it's not worn. It's just they had a very bad die. So that's why they look like that. Like you can see the fine detail in the dress or the flag. But you can see up top it looks a little smudged, but that's just from the dyes are really bad. But that's a very, very nice example. So I wanted to have that for my collection. This one you've seen in the previous video, 1775, half cent, Britannia is on the back. So that's really the oldest coin I have, but this is the last year that England technically controlled America before we said F you. we're going to do our own thing. So I thought that was cool to have. And I got this 1882 Carson City. I don't know the grade, but I would say that's pretty nice. I'm in the back. It's very, very, the back looks better than the front, unfortunately, the obverse. But it still looks pretty good, so I'm not sure what that would grade. And then this was a recent pickup. I got an 1830 capped bust, $50. It has some worn surfaces, but for what it is, it's actually a pretty nice example. So I'm happy with that. I always wanted a decent example of a capped bust. I want to try to do the $50, one of every design, So, they got the cat bust, the Barber half dime, seated Liberty. I want to try to get one of each in a $50. So that might be like a little side numismatic project I work on. Because if you get them slabbed, high AU, they're $200 to $300 each. So that's $1,000 I'd have to put toward $50 higher grade. But I think that's really it. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of my other silver that I showed in one of my other previous videos, all my old coins. And this is pretty much the update. As far as silver pricing, looks like it dropped back down to 70 today. So is it going to keep going down? Possibly. Or it could just be end of the year sell-off, and 2026 it might decide to just keep going up. Maybe that $10 pullback, $14 pullback was all it needed, but I wouldn't be surprised, if it goes back to 65, whatever the previous high was. It usually bounces off of that for support. So, it could be 55, 60. I'm not sure. I got to look at the chart. But things are looking good. If there is, I hope it pulls back. I want to get back up to 200 ounces of silver again. The gold, I ended up going over my goal, which was 10 ounces. So now that I have more than 10 ounces of gold, I'm definitely happy in that realm. So, like I said, silver is definitely my goal for 2026. And the numismatics, just because, like I said, I want to try to keep venturing into that, since it is my number one favorite that got me into this in the first place. So, all that being said, I think that'll do it. And hopefully everybody had a good 2025. Have a better 2026. Be smart, be patient, and keep stacking. I'll catch you in the next one.